How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse, and today we are going to be taking a first look at what could just be the next generation of cross-country spikes. We've got the Nike Dragonfly XC. Now, if we go back a few years ago, we saw the introduction of the original Dragonfly, which really was the first true distance super spike. It had that ZoomX foam, but when you compare it to some of the more highly cushioned marathon super shoes, the Dragonfly was just lower profile, more nimble, and it had a much more aggressive track spike design. Pretty quickly, you started to see this shoe dominate the track scene. You saw it on the feet of top pros, you saw records go down, and you even started to see athletes question, could the Dragonfly's efficiency benefits translate over to cross-country racing? And I think the answer was obviously yes. You saw it on the feet of athletes running on finely manicured grass, even some muddy conditions, but the Dragonfly wasn't built for cross-country. It is a track shoe, so Nike went back to the drawing board, took the core philosophies of the Dragonfly, and made some small modifications, and what they came up with was the Nike Dragonfly XC. A lot to talk about with this shoe, and I think first on up, we'll go into the midsole. Now, we still see that same ZoomX foam running from the heel to the forefoot. You get that ultra soft, ultra bouncy experience you've come to know and love, and it's gonna work with that same Pebax plate you saw on the track spike. That also runs throughout the length of the shoe. A Pebax plate is gonna be a little bit less stiff than what you see in a traditional carbon plate, and I think that will work pretty well for that uneven cross-country terrain. Moving on down to the outsole, this is where we're gonna see the big changes in the cross-country version. We still have that 6-pin layout, but instead of a traditional ridged Pebax plate you saw in the track version, now you've got a much stickier and more durable compound that works together with these secondary traction elements that are gonna give that extra bite. As you move on down into the midfoot, you're gonna see a very, very thin layer of EVA for that added durability. And again, those secondary traction elements continue on to give you that extra traction. Finally, in the heel, you're gonna see that shark skin you saw in the track version swapped out with the same material you see up in the forefoot, which again gives durability and traction. That's what this outsole is all about. All right, finishing this shoe off and really wrapping it all together, you're gonna continue to see an ultra light and fast upper with some small modifications to help out with your cross-country needs. Up in the toe box, you're gonna see some added overlays for durability and protection, as well as plenty of breathability for added ventilation. As you move on into the midfoot, you're gonna see just a little bit more built up upper than what you see in the track spike, but again, it's gonna be very lightweight, really locked down, really that added materials just to provide a little bit more support for uneven terrain. As you move into the heel, you're gonna continue to see some of those breathability elements and a slightly more built up heel than you see in the track version. It's really just gonna encapsulate that heel a little bit better and keep your foot really at one with the shoe. So overall, that was the Nike Dragonfly XC. Not huge changes over its track counterpart, but that's a good thing. The Dragonfly has become known as one of our most popular track super spikes. It's one of the fastest shoes on the market, and while we saw it used a lot in cross country over the past few years, I feel like the XC is now gonna take over as the true cross country super spike. If you're looking to get the Dragonfly XC on your own feet, you can find it here at Running Warehouse.